Hey everyone, I'm Jack, and you might recognize by all the stuff laying out here that it's time for another cactus rescue. So the other day I was at the grocery store, you know, the one that has groceries and clothes and car parts and a garden center. And I went out to the garden center just to see if they had any plants, and lo and behold, they did. They had kind of the same succulents and cacti that they had last year. There were a few cacti that I hadn't seen before, but mostly all the succulents were ones that I either have or they were there last year, kind of the same thing. But what I'm really excited about is I found two cacti that I hadn't seen before and two that I don't have. And so let me show you what they are. This first one is a Tanzanian zipper plant. It's a Euphorbia anoplia, and you can see that it has the disgusting fake orange straw flower on the top. But I just thought it was so cool, and there's actually 4 of them in here. There's 3 little babies and then the mama plant. I'm probably going to leave it all together when I transplant it. I am tempted to kind of separate one of them, but I don't know. I probably will keep it together. So let me show you why they call it a zipper plant, and if I can get close enough, you can see like right in here, these little darker lines kind of simulate a zipper, and it is just so cool looking. So I snatched that up right away. And the other one is a Caribbean Opuntia Consolea falcata. And look at this thing. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And it has the same gross orange straw flower on it. But it's a really cool looking Opuntia, real distinctive with, you know, the pads coming off of each main pad. There's, you know, a tiny one. Let me get my pointer. A tiny one here, and then a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And I just thought this one was so cool. And there's actually 2 of them in here, one here and one over here. These I might separate when I transplant to end up with 2, but I'll have to wait and see. So it gave me an opportunity to get 2 new cacti that I don't have. And it also gives me the opportunity to do another cactus rescue video. So let's get started. Let's do the zipper plant first. I'll just move this one back here, sort of out of the way. And what I'm going to do first is get rid of this little hanger carry strap here so that it makes it easier to work on. These are really handy for carrying out of the store, and also I kind of use them to hang off something in my car so that they don't tip over and get damaged in the ride home. And the tricky part sometimes is getting these tabs out. Yeah, because they want to grab on the inside, so you kind of have to bust them off and get that out of there. And then we'll take this one out here. Boy, they are really in there. There, that one came right out. So I'll put that here, and just like the last time, I will do a little cap full of alcohol. Probably going to make a huge mess like I did last time, but that's okay. It's all in the name of rescuing these cactus. So let me see. Let me just look at it first before I do anything. It looks like there's one central blob of glue right up here on the top, and it's fairly localized, like it doesn't drip down, and even actually on this side there's hardly any contact points at all, so this one should come off fairly easily. So just like before, I'm going to take the cotton tip applicator, soak it in the alcohol, and then I'm just going to gently paint on to the hot glue. And a little bit's going to drip on the cactus, but that's fine. It's funny, after I did the video on those other ones, now the ones at the center with these flowers on, I kind of target those first. Like, that's the first grouping of trays that I look at to see if there's one that I can get these flowers off and, you know, try and have the cactus not have that stupid flower on there. Whereas before I looked at them and sort of just glanced over and thought, oh yeah, you know, it's got a dumb flower on it, but I would look at the other trays. And now, like, I feel kind of drawn to getting these so I can, like I said, get these things off. And I wish, I mean, I know why they put them on, but I just think it's ridiculous that, you know, putting them on to try and fool people to think it's a bloom, and they buy it and they get it home, and, you know, what do they do with them at home? Do they just leave the flower on there? I don't know. It's just, it's sad that, you know, they have to resort to that to get them to sell, you know. It seems like there's enough of us out there that, you know, they wouldn't have to do that we would buy these without the flower, but I guess they're targeting people that, you know, don't collect them and don't have the same feelings about them that we do. So I'm just going around dabbing the glue. It's a fairly big blob, so I'm thinking it'll take quite a bit to loosen it up, and now I'm spilling dirt already on the tabletop. Going to give it a little pull and see what happens. The straw part, the flower itself came off, so that might help me get to the glue a little bit better. And I'll just keep painting it on here. I can't wait to see this one without the flower, without all this glue blobbed on there. Take these and see if I can see if it's getting soft or not. It's not yet. Apparently they used a little bit stronger glue than before. There it comes. So it's lifting up already, but I just want to make sure that I'm not gonna, you know, pull off any of the top part of the cactus. And I think this thing might just lift right off. At least that's my hope. There. All off in one big blob. And there's a little bit, oh, that just popped right off too. So one big blob and one little skin of a blob. And no damage at all to the top of the cactus. It looks really good and healthy. And this one has teeny tiny little thorns on it. That if you ran your finger up this way, it would probably dig into your finger. But if you go down this way, it doesn't really, you can't even really feel them. They're just kind of, they feel like little hard, calloused bits. But going up this way, they're, you know, the thorns are sticking down. Anyway, so the top looks really good. There's still some good thorns on the top that didn't get ruined. So I'm pretty happy with that. And it looks so cool. I love this plant. Euphorbias. I kind of have a special thing for euphorbias. The crown of thorns is probably one of my favorite ones. And they had another euphorbia there that I kind of picked up and set down. It didn't have a flower on it, and I didn't really pay it too much attention, so I'll have to kind of look at that when I go back. So anyway, here's the Tanzanian zipper plant with the flower removed, so it looks pretty good. So I'll just put that back here. And then we will work on this Caribbean Opuntia. Now this one's got, whoops. This one's got stringy glue. Here, let's get rid of this carry thing first. It'll make it a lot easier to work with. Take these things out. The other thing I was kind of happy about is all these were really dry, like the soil hasn't been soaking wet, hasn't been sitting out in the rain, hasn't been overwatered by the nursery. And so it's perfect for me because I can just, once I get these off, put them on the rack and, you know, just continue to monitor them, and hopefully they will do well, you know, when it starts to warm up, and I can, you know, slowly give them some water. And they look really good. There's one, maybe two little pads that are kind of dried up and a little bit scaly looking. I think it's just from actually not being overwatered. If anything, maybe underwatered, but that's okay. Everything else looks really good. It's got good growth, and it's got some pretty wicked little thorns on it. So, like I said, this one's got some stringy glue kind of stuck on the thorns where they put on the hot glue and then, you know, just took the gun and whipped it away from the plant, I think. And it caused those little glue stringy things. So I'm just gonna kind of nip those off the thorns so that I can try and get it off this plant without destroying it too much. And I also don't want to rip off any thorns if I can help it. So I think, unfortunately, this one, well, maybe, let me try putting some alcohol on it and see if I can get that off. Once it gets soft, it usually just falls right off. There, it's popped right off. Okay, so let's see, there's a little bit up here. I think I can do the same thing, it's just dab this on and pull that right off. Yep, came right off. There, now we can work on the flower. So it's got, you can probably see, it's got a big blob that ran down, right down here. And then on the back side, there's another blob that has run down. But it's not touching the pad all the way, so that's good. So let me start from this side, and I'll just start, hold this one. Start painting on this alcohol. These pads are super brittle, so I'm afraid I'm going to end up breaking this pad off, and I don't want to do that. But it's so mounded on here, and the contact point, you know, where it comes off the mom is just right here, this tiny little section. It's about 1/4 of an inch attached to the mom. So I'm afraid this pad might break off, but let's try and do it without doing that. And a little more alcohol. What I also don't want to do is break off this bigger pad that's attached down here. That would be horrible, because then it would be kind of asymmetrical looking, and I wouldn't want that. And I'm sure it doesn't either. So this one's probably going to take more time because I have to be so careful with it. You know what I think I'll do is I'm going to cut off the flower. Ah, of course it went everywhere. But that way I can see a little bit better and get under this flower. There. That's a little bit better. Now I can see a little more what I'm doing. I'm going to hold on to this little nub here. Boy, this one's tricky. Very fragile. See if I can lift up some of this glue. Yes, so that just broke off, fell off. Didn't do any damage, which is good. See if I can take this and maybe, yep, look at that. Did you see that? That was awesome. The whole thing just fell right off. There's one thorn stuck in the blob of glue there. So that's the only casualty, is one little thorn. Top looks really good. The sides look good where it was all rolled down on. And that is going to be a happy Opuntia and a happy Euphorbia. And they already look so much better without those stupid straw flowers on. So now they just have to go up onto the grow rack, and I will transplant those in the spring when the weather kind of warms up and my room gets the temperature up a little bit. Right now it's about 64 degrees, 26% humidity in my room, and in a couple of months I'm going to bring that temperature up. I can transplant these and have some awesome looking cacti. So I hope you enjoyed this video of how to take the straw flower off cactus. If you did, click that thumbs up button for me, subscribe to see more videos, and until the next time, thanks for watching.